800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with Rick and Wayne. Come to you every Tuesday morning here at WGNS. Wayne, how are you, buddy?
Good morning. Doing well.
Good.
Glad to see the rain, but I think everybody forgot how to drive since the last.
How was your trip in from Nashville?
Well, it was a tough drive, brother. It was a tough drive. So, but glad to have the rain. You know, I haven't checked the drought map here lately, so hopefully we're about out of that.
I think we're getting better, but we're still in it. So
Yeah. So won't ever complain about the rain. I remember back in '86 when we had, I think, several days of 100+ temperature and no rain for. Of course, it's been a minute since then, but ever since that time, I've never ever complained about the rain.
Well, I took a picture on August the 24th, and I had just got done mowing grass, and I mowed grass this Saturday. So that's how long it's been since I had to mow grass. I had to go get gas because
So there's some benefits, though, as far as the effort.
Exactly.
High school football is winding down. Oakland and Riverdale going to go at it again, and Stewart's Creek is still there. So, Rutherford County is well represented, and the last game for the Blue Raiders, I think, is it two left? Okay, last home game is this weekend, and we'll hope we pull out a victory. And poor Titans, I feel so bad for them, but we'll be hopeful.
I wanted to tell you something about high school, just because it's an amazing statistic. First time for Stewart's Creek to be in the quarterfinals, but for the last 27 years, Rutherford County has had a team in the semifinals, at least, if not win a state title. 30 of the last 31 years. So it's pretty amazing to know that we've had good football and 13 state championships in that time. So
and you might know this. So I saw a realignment that they're looking. So there's going to be like a 6-3A, and it's going to put all Rutherford County schools in their own bracket.
So all 8 teams back in one region in football, and they're going to split in basketball and the other sports that have 4 classifications. Blackman, Laverne, Smyrna, Stewart's Creek will be one district, and the rest of the Murfreesboro schools will be another. And for the first time, I've done this for 30 years. For the first time I can remember, we're not having to go to Chattanooga area for sectionals. It'll be Williamson County that we go to. So that'll help with that at least.
Yep. Right.
Yep. So
you turn out to be a valuable commodity at this station. So
you need to realize too that during those 30 years, there were several SROs that were coaches as well. So not head coaches, but they're right there with them. So.
We'll get to that. Brother Rick, this morning we've got 2 really good guests, great guests, if you will. We have the High Sheriff of Rutherford County, Mike Fitzhugh, and Captain Barry Hendrickson. I wanted to say Hendricks, but it is Hendrickson.
I confuse a lot of people with that. It's okay.
Well, we're really pleased to have you this morning, especially getting out on a wet, rainy morning. There's, like I told Rick, the drive in this morning down I-24 was tough. So I bet your people are really busy today, Sheriff.
Today. It was tough coming down Broad Street this morning.
So, I've learned about Broad Street and coming up here in the morning on Tuesdays. If you're 10 minutes too early, you're in it. If you're 10 minutes too late, you're perfect.
So, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Just figuring out which 10 minutes you're in.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, why don't we start out and let the audience know a little bit about you? I know, Sheriff, you're very well known across the county, but maybe you'll share something that maybe general public does not know.
Oh, I don't know. Well known, that's good or bad. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, I started out with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office back in '94, and came through the ranks. Started out as a patrol officer, and then went into what they call field training. Trained other officers, sergeant, lieutenant, and then captain. From there, I had experience in the communications division and warrants division. And then actually in 2013, I retired. And then the sheriff's vacancy came open, and the commission put out a request for applications. And so I applied along, I think, with 12 other people, and went through the process and was appointed by the commission, and then ran back in 2018 for election, and then again in 22. So this term goes till 26. So anyway, got a background in the corporate world with Bell South, various Southern Bell, South Central Bell, Bell South. So I spent about 25 years there, and then came out of that, and then sold real estate for a couple of years and realized I was going to starve to death doing that. So
I would as well, Sheriff.
Yeah, so went into law enforcement. I had worked with when Rutherford County Rescue Squad was very active here. I was with them for about 10 years. And during that experience, worked very closely with the Sheriff's Office and the Murfreesboro Police Department, and took an interest in that. And then, of course, obviously, I guess growing up, this is not something where I ever thought I'd be doing. And then, honestly, as far as sheriff, never really gave that much thought until the opportunity came available, and decided that I would put my name in the hat and see what came about, and I thought I might have something to offer. So, been at that ever since.
Certainly glad you made that decision.
Well, it's been a good one. I've very much enjoyed it.
Captain?
Originally from Warren County, McMinnville, Tennessee. Attended MTSU when I got out of school. I graduated with a plant and soil science degree and a minor in chemistry. And the reason I like to bring that up is because I haven't used it since I left MTSU. I don't know, my parents.
What about algebra? Have you used algebra?
I married a math teacher, so I got that part covered too. So I'm good all the way around.
How's your yard look?
Well,
Is it pretty?
by the way, my youngest son is he's got a landscaping little business too. So yeah, we're good. Yeah, yeah. I've shown him a couple of things, not much.
Can we have his number, by the way?
He would love for me to give it to you. I'm sure. I'm sure. But after that, back then, MTSU offered criminal justice credit if you put yourself through the academy. So I didn't know what I was going to do. So I figured if I was post-certified walking in to get an interview, then I would be a leg up on, other people that were applying for the job. So that was 1993. I was hired July 12, 93. At the time, back when the SRO division first started, I actually took one of the guys that was going to the SRO program. I took his slot on patrol. And 2.5 years later, back then it was a requirement, just because the program was so small, that you had to have a college degree to be an SRO. And at the time, I was pulling in around $17,000 a year. Didn't know how to spend all that money back then, but I figured it out pretty quick. It was a considerable pay raise to be an SRO, and I said, well, I've got a degree, I might as well give that a shot. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's one of the best jobs, if not the best job, in law enforcement. You get to do so much proactive events as far as just being reactive all the time, and it feels like you're making a little bit more of a dent than just showing up at somebody's house at 3 a.m. I know Rick knows all about that too.
Yes,
but
Exactly.
I had several kids at Stewartsboro. That was my first school. Rick Wise was my principal then, and they said, "Hey, I've seen you before." And I'm like, "Oh, like where have you seen me? You came to my house and arrested my dad." I'm like,
Oh, goodness.
We need to fix these relationships. And that's one of the biggest things that we do in the SRO division is break down that barrier between law enforcement and what the kids are seeing from either their family or TV or whatever, and realize that, we're just like they are. We just have a different job. So anyway, been that, and had the opportunity to supervise maintenance, evidence, fleet, and warrants. I think the sheriff was mad at me at the time with 4 divisions, and then asked me to do SRO again, gave me 5, and I was, I offered to pay him, and I was just trying to figure out what I'd done wrong, but it made me feel good that he trusted me enough to take on that responsibility, and now I'm back full-time in the SRO division as of October of 23,
So I thought I was punishing you, but obviously.
Just as a little sidebar, Sheriff, your dad was an amazing gentleman, and got to be with him in Smyrna Rotary.
Sure.
With his situation there with the airport authority. Just an amazing servant in his own way.
Yeah, he, of course, he was a retired Air Force officer, and actually was the last officer at Seward Air Force Base, and actually closed the base for the governor.
Didn't know that.
Or for the government. Closed the base on a Friday and moved one building over when Metropolitan Airport took over Smyrna Airport, and he went to work with them on Monday morning and ran the airport for them there in Smyrna. Later, he went to Nashville and actually with the Metropolitan Airport and was director for a while, and also operations. Retired from that, and then when Smyrna and Rutherford County took over the airport, he came back to the airport there and ran that until he retired. So I guess at one time he had 3 retirements going on.
Wow.
Yeah, but dearly loved the airport. That was something. I used to go out there, and every time I went out there, we went on the same tour like I'd never been there before. So, but he good man. I miss both of them.
Yes,
I really
sir.
do.
So my reason for being in Tennessee, I'm from Delaware. I know you can tell by my accent, but
And how old were you when you?
it was about 2.
2
But
months?
I used to go back in the summer. So, but we moved Capital Airways, or my dad was vice president of Capital Airways.
Very
So
much
your
so.
dad
Yes.
and my dad become quite good friends through that thing with Smyrna Airport. And I think my dad retired in about 84 from Capital, but I can remember your dad. Because I guess there was not a whole lot to do out there. They had a lot going on, but you would go out and see Dad in the afternoon, especially as a teenager, and your dad or a few others be in my dad's office and just talking. I wonder what they got accomplished back then.
I kind of think they had more fun than they worked.
So
So
probably right. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
nothing
either.
wrong with that.
But your dad's that got us to Smyrna. So.
That's a good deal. 'Cause, I remember Capitol very well. It was quite a big outfit out there.
Sheriff, how many employees do you have now?
Got 668.
Goodness.
So
Golly.
we are a lot bigger than a lot of people in the county realize. And so 668 employees. We've got 1,015 inmates today. So we've got a large operation over there.
How would you credit? So Davidson County obviously is like number 2 in the state as far as violent crimes and everything going on. Last year, had 100 homicides, and there's this drastic drop. Just it's like there's not a fence in between Davidson and Rutherford. It's an open highway. But how do you credit a lot of our success that we're knock on wood that we're having right now in Rutherford County? And
Well, I think
what
success
programs?
one, a lot of the programs that we've got, and of course Barry will speak to this later as far as some of the SRO programs we've got for the youth, but a lot of the program we've got what we call a Senior Citizens Awareness Network, and that's a program where we've got about 80 to 85 seniors that a group of volunteers go out and visit, make sure that they've got food, electricity, running water, their medical appointments are met, they got groceries, and so they make contacts every day of the week. So that's a huge program that we've got, and one that's very successful. Another program we got is a cadet program where ages 14 through 21 youth can come to that program, and it's a program geared towards law enforcement, but basically it teaches them life skills. And so any endeavor that they choose to go after this, then it will help them with that. Very successful program, and we've had a lot of them that have come out of there. Several have joined our agency full time and make excellent employees. We've got some that have gone to some of the state institutions, THP, Tennessee Highway Patrol, Homeland Security. So it's a very active program. It's been very successful, and we have youth that comes to us and actually scared to death to get up and talk, and actually when they get out of the program, they're giving speeches to large groups of people. So a lot of life skills that they teach them. So we got that. We've got an alumni association. We have a program where what we call a Sheriff's Citizens Academy.
Yeah.
And people join that, and we usually have a class of 20 to 25 made up of citizens from the community. And they come once a week for 10 weeks, on 3 hours on a Tuesday night. And what we do is let them go through all phases of what we do at the Sheriff's Office. And they ride with us. They actually get to out and shoot. We do scenarios where we present things that we run into on a daily basis. And so it kind of gives them a feel for what we experience. And it's a very successful program. From that, they can go into an alumni association, which is a very active group. It's a 501c3 organization. They all volunteer. When we have events, they help us with those events. A few years back when we had the White Lives Matter on the square,
That's right.
they were there and kept all of the people that we had up there hydrated and with snacks and so forth. So they perform a very valuable service.
I think your biggest fan of that program, and I hear him consistently, and that's Representative Mike Sparks.
Mike is a big one. He is. We got him there, and he went through our program.
Yeah.
And we encourage everybody, regardless of who you are or what you do in life, to come and experience that, because it's. I think it's something that gives everybody a real experience and actually feel and see what we do. And it explains some of the things that we do that seem odd to people, that why we do them.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I checked Mike's wallet. I want to make sure he don't have a badge like Elvis. You know, Elvis had the FBI badge, and I'm checking to make sure he don't have an honorary sheriff badge in his wallet somewhere, but he doesn't so far.
I didn't know about their program. I think I'd like to get to do that.
Well, I'd love for you to be there.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and actually, you really meet a lot of people and make some good friends for life in that program, and very active. I think you'd enjoy it. I really do.
Yes, sir.
Barry, talk about the SROs a little bit. So you got 668 employees. How many of that is?
We have 76 right now. That counts supervisors, and we also have the count varies, kind of like the jail population varies with our crossing guards. We've got close to 80 crossing guards too now. So with that being said, we're one of the biggest next to patrol post certified divisions there, and I'm going to ask for more next year because they're building more schools. So we've done our level best, and the county commission was good enough to vote in that we could have 3 SROs per high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a population thing. It wasn't anything to do with one school's got more problems than the other. Didn't have anything to do with that. It's just a population growth. And right now, Blackman Middle School, they were just under 1,700 last year, and I know that they are past that, and that is probably going to be one of the first middle schools that we put 2 in. Just the campus is so big and that many kids, it's hard to service everybody the way that we would like to. You're just spread too thin, So we've got some in training right now. The schools aren't full. Just simply because of turnover and some people going to CID and patrol and other agencies. So we have I think 3 or 4 right now that are either in the hiring process or going through the orientation process to get them over to the SRO division. One of the things that we look at, though, we do our level best not to hire anybody that's not post certified, for the simple reason is when you're in a school as an SRO, you're kind of on an island by yourself. It's kind of their small town, so we have to have people that have done an investigation before, have made arrests, know how to testify in court. There are plenty of good applicants out there that are brand new, but it would take 2 years to train them, you know, in the law enforcement patrol side of it. So we try to hire people that are post-certified and have some experience under their belt. Just when they get thrown into that school, they're going to be investigating anything like you would on the street, any kind of call or anything like that. So but we're fortunate. We've got some really, really good SROs out there that if we didn't have them, we couldn't do half the things that we do. And it's just dedicated. Some guys get into it, and it's not their fault, and I don't blame them. But after the first year, they go, I didn't realize it was all this. I don't want to be around 1,700 people every day, all day, and I'd like to go back, and I'm better suited for patrolling than some people that come over say, I wish I'd have done this 10 years ago, because it's just a way that you can really see the impact that you're making, not only on the kids, but the teachers and everything else that's there. Just give them that little extra, you know, safety net that they know somebody's there in case anything does happen. So, yeah, it's a good program, and I think we've been going good for a while.
With these 2,000 seat plus high schools, my wish would be that we had 4 SROs in each high school, and especially like Blackman, and I think Oakland Middle has the ability to have that capacity. They would have 3, and each elementary school would have at least 2. That would be my desire with you know, with some of the things that's happened in the past.
And it's just, you know, the county's growing and subdivisions are going up everywhere, and that just means more students. And you know, we have the ability now, because of the 3rd SRO in the schools, that each sergeant was also assigned their own school for years. And so they were having to do double duty as far as being a sergeant, supervising their guys, and then also running a school as that SRO. So with the addition of some new employees, we were able to pull the sergeants out so they can make visits to their school. Anybody in their sergeant group that's out, I have an automatic sub for that school. They can show up and fill in for the day, or if they have an event or anything else going on, they can be an extra SRO on campus. So that part of it's really worked out well for us as far as coverage and giving the supervisors a chance to get out and supervise. And one of the biggest negatives to that is one of the hardest things to do is when you get promoted is leave your school, because that's where you've been for years, and you know, they look at it like their family. And I still got some hanging. I was like, could I still keep an office over here and then go out and sub? And I was like, that's up to you and your principal. That's fine with me. So whatever you want to do. But it just goes to show that when an SRO does the job like they're supposed to, and they're vested in what they do, they don't want to leave, because you know, they're afraid if I leave and then something happens, even though there's somebody else there, they feel responsible for not being there.
Yeah,
so
sure. You're exactly right. You're listening to Sheriff Mike Fitzhugh and Captain Barry Hendrickson. We're going to take our first break. You're listening to the Tuesday Morning Show with Rick and Wayne. Be right back.
Efficient 3-bedroom, 3-bath home located in the highly sought-after Black Fox Crossing neighborhood. Enjoy the convenience of 2 primary suites and a 2-car garage. Recent updates include new flooring in the living areas and bedrooms, as well as fresh paint throughout 915.
The city of Murfreesboro is growing, and we need your help to prove it. This is Mayor Shane McFarland, and participating in the special census helps ensure we get the funding we deserve for essential services like road paving, sidewalks, and parks. It's easy. Just visit murfreesborocensus.com, fill out the secure form, or complete the special census letter coming to your mailbox. Remember, every person counts.
Count me in.
Okay, count me in.
And count me in too.
Let's make sure Murfreesboro gets its true share. Complete the special census today.
As a leader in environmental services, sustainability is deeply integrated into our business model. At Middle Point Landfill, we are environmentalists at heart. This is Mike Klassen with Middle Point Landfill. We use cutting-edge technology in combination with our deep experience in recycling and waste services to protect our environment and our neighbors. That's our job, and that's our promise. We invite you to learn more about us at middlepointlandfill.com. Republic Services, we are sustainability in action.
Football season is in full swing, but are you making your picks with Sleeper? Just pick more or less on these 2 player stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer for new users. Your first deposit will be matched 100% up to $1,500 in credit. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code MONDAY, and your first deposit up to $1,500 will be matched in credit. That's code MONDAY. Must be at least 18 years old in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. See terms of use for details at sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
Discover hidden treasures at the Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street in Murfreesboro. Whether you're searching for stylish clothing, sturdy furniture, or even large appliances, we've got them all at prices that you'll love. But here's the best part. 100% of your purchase supports Greenhouse Ministries, serving over 70 families a day. Your shopping dollars go straight back into the community, making a real impact. Shop smart and give back at the Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street in Murfreesboro.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
I've got pests, bees, buzzing, rodents running all through my house. Ants chewing wood, and look, there's a mouse. I'm overrun with pests, but you're gonna be sure, safe and secure. It's the last rites for those pests. Call the best of the best to get rid of your pests.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated. Call us today. 893-7111.
Thanksgiving is not this Thursday, but the following one, so it's getting close. We have so much to be thankful for, and WGNS encourages you to slow down and count your many blessings. MTSU is offering a free 4-week self-defense class for women ages 13 and older. It is free and begins on Monday, the 25th. That's next week, 5:30 until 7:30 in the evening. For information about the 4-week RAD class, that's Rape Aggression Defense, get in touch with the MTSU Police Department. This is the final weekend for some great shows at our local theaters. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, wraps up this weekend at the Center for the Arts in Uptown Murfreesboro. It's also the final weekend for Guys and Dolls at the Arts Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury. Are you getting caught up in the Christmas spirit? Boy Scout Troop 197 begins selling its Christmas trees this Sunday. That's right, this Sunday. That's over at Fellowship United Methodist Church on the New Salem Highway. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms here this afternoon. Cloudy skies, a high in the upper 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low near 50. Wednesday becoming sunny, high of 60. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 66.
We're powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. This Thanksgiving, MTE is grateful for you, its valued members. May your holiday be filled with warmth, happiness, and the glow of togetherness. Happy Thanksgiving from Middle Tennessee Electric.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's Rick and my honor this morning to have Sheriff Mike Fitzhugh and Captain Barry Hendrickson with us. And I think, Sheriff, this second segment, you were going to talk a little bit about a number of the services that the Sheriff Department offers.
Sure. 4 of the services we offer, of course, are by Constitution. And a lot of people don't really know that by Constitution, the sheriff is responsible for the jail, responsible for security of the courthouse, responsible for the service of warrants, and then, of course, obviously patrol of the county. We're the 3rd largest full-service sheriff's office in the state of Tennessee. So here again shows how large we really have grown to be. I want to go back and kind of comment on one of the comments, we would love to have more SROs in our schools. And, of course, one of the things that we've tried to do, as Barry had alluded to, is that we want experienced SROs. So we'd like to have, if we can, experience in patrol division before they go in, too. And usually, I guess it's still 2 years, Barry?
Yes, sir. That's what we try to shoot for.
Is try to shoot for 2 years of experience. And of course, if we pull out of our patrol division to go to SRO, then of course you've got to backfill that position. Right now, it cost us about a first-year cost of $180,000 for a patrol deputy coming off off the street, and that includes your salary, your training, all your equipment, your car equipment that goes into the car, and everything. So it's a hefty price tag on the front end to get these people on the payroll. As far as the divisions that we've got, first thing, of course, obviously most people see is a patrol division. They see them out on the street, and as Barry said, the SRO division, which are school resource officers, has grown to about the point where they're almost as big as our patrol division now, and so quite active. Of course, obviously the jail, we've got about 171 employees that work in our detention facility. Then we move over, we've got a what we call CSU, or they do our PR work for the sheriff's office and interface with various clubs and so forth and resources in the county, and present the sheriff's office to the various organizations. Criminal investigation division are detectives, and we've got that. We've got a narcotics division. We've got a warrants division, both serving of warrants, criminal and civil, and then also records division in the warrants section. We've got an IT division comprising of 6 people. The world has moved to electronics, and we are very heavily involved in that. Everything we've got ties back to electronics, so we have to have a division that keeps us up and running. A lot of what we do, we've got interfaces with the state and with the federal agencies, so because of that, there's only certain people that can have access to that type of information, so we have to be very careful who has access to it. And of course, sometimes it causes some problems because there's some things we just can't do, or we would lose that certification, and then we would not be able to interface. So if you had a stop on the street, we wouldn't be able to check warrants or anything to find that out. So we're very active. We've got a training division and a recruitment division, and this is kind of interesting because up until the last couple of years, we really never had to recruit. We always had applicants, and if we had an opening, it was not unusual to have 70, 80 to 100 applicants. Now we have an opening. It's not unusual to only have 3 or 4 to look at. Law enforcement has not become a very popular thing in the years past, so it's very difficult to that. And then, of course, obviously, we're not well paid in terms of pay with outside industry. So that's hurt us quite a bit. So we've had to go into recruitment, and it's kind of interesting because in the last couple of years we've had to learn how to recruit. It's something new to us, and so we've got to be very active in that part of it. Right now we've got 26,000 warrants on hand. A lot of these warrants are not enough information to be able to serve it. You're lacking either social security number or an address. So there's some warrants up there, felony warrants, whatnot, that probably will never be served, and that we just don't have enough information to serve it. The other problem that we've got is with 1,015 in the jail, our capacity is 960, so we're over capacity. If we serve the misdemeanor warrants that we've got, I wouldn't have any place to house them. So there's another catch-22 that we're into right now. Rutherford County is in a population spurt, and of course, as we've been saying, with the good, you always have the bad that comes with it, and we're starting to see the bad now. When COVID hit, we went from 868 inmates. The federal courts, state courts granted us the authority on non-violent misdemeanors to release and then come back to court at a later date. So we dropped to 535 almost immediately. And you can see now where we've grown back to 1,015. So we're higher now than we were running. So, and I don't see that decreasing at all.
Did you see the recidivism rate
about 42%.
Increase drastically when that happened?
Not drastically. We usually ran around 30-38%. We're running about 42 right now. So not as drastic an increase as you would think. A lot of what we're seeing is new crime. Drugs are a huge problem.
Yeah.
67% of the male population that I've got over there right now are on some type of treatment for drugs or alcohol. 92% of the women are on that same type of treatment. So it's a very hefty problem in this county.
How are you doing with the mental health trend within
Terrible.
the sheriff's office?
The problem with mental health is the states all across the U.S. have decreased the mental health beds. Unfortunately, mental health, they commit crimes. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing. They get arrested, they come to us, and we have become the new mental health for the state. And I don't see that the state is going to be doing anything in terms of building new mental health facilities. And so it's turned out we're a jail. We're not a mental health facility, but yet we're forced to do that. I've got a doctor and his services, which are on contract with us, full-time, 24 hours a day. So far this year, we've had 35,000 doctor or nurse visits with just inmates. So and a lot of that is mental health, and it's a tremendous problem. I don't know what we're going to do because we're not equipped, and obviously the jail is not built to house mental health, so we're having to make do in that area.
I know, I guess it's been a couple of years ago, there was kind of a forum that was set up about the opioid crisis, and on top of that, it piggybacked, and it was at a church in Smyrna, I think Parkway Baptist it was at, but there's a lot of mental health psychiatrists and things there ready to help and do things, but they were looking for grant money and things through federal programs, and there just wasn't out there. And I spoke at that thing, and they still have a mentality of 8 to 4, and I said, if you really want to make a difference, you need to be out on midnight shift and being with these sheriff's deputies and police officers on midnight shift, because that's when you're going to see 99% of them is out there early in the morning when they're trying to come back home off of whatever they're doing.
They're there, and we were successful in getting the grant, and we've got 2 civilian mental health specialists that ride with our deputies now. And when we encounter a mental health crisis, and we try to get them to that individual to see what they can do. We've got another group in patrol that deals with drugs. It's called a STOP program, and anybody that is encountering drugs or arrested for drugs and everything, then they interface with these deputies, and they try to get them into a treatment program. Been very successful with that, and so I would much prefer they be in a treatment program than housed in our jail. And so they have been very active, very successful, and that's through a grant program. One of the things I've tried to do, and since I've been sheriff, we've gotten almost $15 million in grant money that has come to us. It's not costing the individual taxpayer. So basically, when I get a federal grant, then I've got 50 states helping pay for what we're doing here, and we constantly seek grants for whatever to be it in a jail or SRO or whatever. The state has helped us recently on SROs in that for our SROs in the accredited schools, then they have been reimbursing us salary last year, and they're going to do it again this year. And then in addition to retention for SROs, they've granted for this year only another stipend of $800 for each of 63 SROs. So the governor has made a pledge and has helped us tremendously in that area.
So your grant writers, are they full-time, or is that's part of what they do?
We've got a grant writer with the county, and so my administrators deputy chief interfaces with that grant writer. She's constantly looking for grants for us. Some of the things we hear about we'll refer to her, and she researches it. So we keep her pretty busy.
I have a nephew that does that. He's out of state, but he got a degree in English, and then he got a master's in English, and it's kind of like a soul thing. What are you going to do with that? And he's our grant writer. But it's the language you use and the things that they look for, and he's really good at it. And
it takes a very specialized individual, but they more than pay for themselves.
Exactly.
At one time, I don't know if it's still the case, especially out in the rural part of the counties, had a real issue with people cooking meth, trying to get out of the populated area because of the smell.
Sure.
Is that still
not as much as we've had in the past? I mean, occasionally you'll still run into it, but it's not as big a problem. Heroin and those type of drugs, fentanyl, huge problem with fentanyl. Very little of that will kill you, and thank goodness, because of some of the work that our people have been doing in narcotics, very active narcotics division, we've seen the deaths drop this year on narcotic deaths, and so that's something we're very proud of. But it's something we need to continually be aware of.
I just think of a deputy. Everybody thinks of Rutherford County as being one huge municipality, but we still have some very rural areas. I know at one time when Rick and I served on the commission, we were trying to get the radio systems where they would touch the entire county and communicate with the other municipalities as well.
We a few years back added a radio system. The county body granted us in about a $17 million system, so we did upgrade our radio system, and we've got about a 97% coverage now. I mean, there's some areas in the county, I don't care what you've got, you're just not going to reach it. But and that has helped us tremendously in terms of upgrading our radio system.
Great. You're listening to Sheriff Mike Fitzhugh and SRO Captain Barry Hendrickson. We're going to take our second break and be right back with you in just a minute.
And Doug. Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating!
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let's go!
ABC tonight. Country music's biggest night, the CMA Awards.
Let's party, Nashville!
Kicks off with this year's must-see collaboration, Post Malone featuring Chris Stapleton live. With electrifying performances by Lainey Wilson, Shabuzi, Ashley McBride, Luke Bryan, plus Thomas Rhett and Teddy Swims. Woo! Luke Bryan, Peyton Manning, and Lainey Wilson host the CMA Awards live tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC, and stream next day on Hulu.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros.
We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstireprostn.com.
Fellas, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced personalized plans that include both lab testing and self-inject medication. Low T Center makes it easy, shipping directly to your door. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
At Bell Jewelers, we'll have some exciting Black Friday week events going on. Not only will our jewelry be at the lowest price for the year, if you spend $299 or more, in the past we've given away televisions, iPads, earbuds. So be making your Christmas wish list, and that's all Thanksgiving week. It would be a great opportunity that Black Friday week. The more you spend, the more you save at Bell Jewelers.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's our pleasure this morning to have Sheriff Mike Fitzhugh and SRO Captain Barry Hendrickson. And Captain, I think you were going to talk about some outreach programs that the Sheriff's Department coordinates.
Yeah, I would love to. The first one that we have coming up, well, let me back up. We have a food drive. We kind of turned it into a competition with elementary, middle, and high schools. Just, the SROs, the supervisors would chip in and get them. It's usually a trophy that says something kind of smart aleck on it, but you'd be surprised how big of a deal that is, that people want to try to get those away from the people that they work with. But it's real easy to do any kind of a food drive during the holidays, which that's great that we need it more then, but people are a little bit more open, in giving around this time of year. But what I want people to realize also is we're going to start another one in January, because after all that said and done, these families out here that are in need, they still need our help. And we also, towards the end of the spring semester, we'll start another one just to help the Atlas program get through the summer, because we still have summer school and those kids still show up and need some things. If you go to the Sheriff's Department website, Lisa has included a list from Atlas of the type of food that they would like to get, non-perishables. There's a whole list on there too, and there's some other things that people don't think about, but personal hygiene items too. They would love to have those as well to put into the bags that they give out to the families and to the students. December 3rd, every Toots in Murfreesboro will have a Shop with the Sheriff fundraiser. It starts at 5 and runs to 8, and you come by and they'll be taking donations for the Shop with the Sheriff program that we do for a select few kids. We let the guidance counselors and administrators and the SROs as well, but they can help us pick out the families that they feel like that are the most in need. And we'll go to, I think it's this year, we're going to Walmart. They open up we give them breakfast in the morning, they open up for us, and then we give the kids a designated amount of money to go and shop for Christmas. So it's great. It's a really, really good program. And the best thing about it is most of the time the first thing they do is buy stuff for their family.
Yeah, always.
Cool. Yeah.
Makes me cry every time.
Yeah, it does. If you want to see something, you come out.
Well, I have 2 sons, and I always made them go with me just to realize how good they had it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done pretty good. They've got jobs, and my youngest is going to be in diesel mechanic school, so if you got a diesel, we might be able to cut you a break on some service one day. I don't know. TJ Knotgrass at Rockville Elementary, he got, it was a sheriff's commendation, I think is what we gave him. Mm-hmm. He basically, with the help of his his parents out there raised enough money to take his archery team to Florida this year, and they did very well. Wow. So to help him with his endeavor, December 6th and 7th, Rockville Elementary, they're going to host a county-wide tournament, and it doesn't have to be in the county. There's probably going to be some schools from outside the county come and participate. We're looking. It varies. I'm being conservative when I say probably 5,000 shooters in 2 days. It's run very well. It's the NAS program, Natural Archery in Schools program, and we've been doing that since, gosh, Sheriff, how long? 12, 15 years? Yeah, something like that. So it's a good fundraiser for them. It helps keep that program going, and one of the best things about the archery program that we realized when we started it is there are certain kids that can't, throw a baseball or carry a football or shoot a basketball, but just about everybody, including some of the kids that they're bound to wheelchairs, they can still pull a bowstring back, and now all of a sudden they have a shirt that's got their school name on it, and they're part of a team that they never would have had a chance to be a part of before, and it's just grown tremendously throughout the county over the years that we've had it. So TJ's unbelievable, and the rest of the archery coaches are too. And matter of fact, their team just I asked the sheriff if I could borrow a trailer, and he kind of looked at me funny. I was like, TJ's group is along with THP got some supplies to go to the Carolinas after the hurricane. So he works really hard at Rockville Elementary School. He's got a great principal, Dana Nichols. She and I were at Stewartspur together. We're both still employed. I don't know how, but we got some stories from 93 and 95, I can tell you that. But great principal, very supportive of the program, as well as all the other principals in the county. I think they realize the benefit that they have with the SRO division, and I feel like that we work very well with everybody. Always, ups and downs, but we tend to work through those, and we've been going strong since 93. So.
Well, I was a coach of the NAS, Thurman Francis, with Deputy Cox back then. Yes. He's a sergeant now, but man, it's big. And talk about leveling the playing field. Our girls were better than our boys.
Absolutely.
And it challenged them boys to pay attention, because it's you gotta. It's very regimented in what you're doing and everything. And I don't know if they still do a state tournament here at Miller Coliseum in Murfreesboro. We took over that floor, that thing, and it's an amazing program.
It was a big deal. Yeah, absolutely. I forgot that you coached with Dustin.
Yeah.
You ever get
he
shot?
Won it. Well, it's close. It's really close. Dustin.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Well, the opportunity for inclusion there, as far as children with different heights and weights and abilities.
Absolutely.
And, you don't have to be a 6'4", athlete to be good with a bow.
No.
And to represent your school. That's a big part of belonging,
Well, and just the team social aspect.
Yes, sir. And it's been very, very popular. And like I said, there's so many coaches that have come and gone, and it's amazing when you bring the program up. Just like Rick said that he used to coach, and I'd forgotten that. And there's so many people that have been in and out with other programs as well, but archery in particular, that there's something about it. I think it's the inclusion part of it, that they realize the amount of people that are able to participate in that sport and don't really have to come up with a whole lot of startup money. My boys play baseball and football, and I have some friends that their daughters are in dance or cheerleading, and that's not cheap at all. And this is one of those that, the fees are small, and by doing stuff like the hosting tournaments like that, we're able to take on a lot of that financial responsibility, so the kids just need to show up. So
it would be cool to have an archery range somewhere here in the county.
I think there's a place out going towards Eagleville School on the left
somewhere.
He's got a shop. I don't know if he's got a range out there, but he's got a shop out that way.
Yeah. I think I asked you a question earlier, Sheriff, and I think over the last hour we've really encompassed there's that invisible line between Davis and Rutherford, but obviously the programs that you've you're spearheaded and your guys have taken and ran with, or what the difference is between the R2 counties and what you got going on. And I have to commend you for that, because many will just show up every day and do their time and leave and go home, and the passion and everything. And Barry, you spoke about the SROs, and my neighbor's an SRO, Deputy Miller, and he's at Smyrna Middle School. But there's 1,000 kids there, and he knows about 925 of the 1,000. He knows them by first name, and and they get involved. They're all, he coaches in wrestling. He's at every Smyrna High football game. They all are every weekend, and the bonds that they got are just, it's a lifelong thing. Of course, I retired and got any insurance, and I've got 2 or 3 guys that I've arrested as clients now.
That's the funniest thing you'll ever see.
It is.
Absolutely.
I had one come in a couple weeks ago, and he screamed when I come down through there, and he screamed my name, and it scared the girls up front. I think I literally had arrested him about 5 times. But
we're very fortunate to have in all divisions the people that we've got, and they take a very active interest in what they're doing, and I'm very proud of every one of them.
God bless you and your people for what you do for this county, and not only you're impacting entire families.
Well, sheriff is one of the few, if not the only, elected official in law enforcement, and as we all say, our boss is the public, and that's who we serve. So, and we do it every day.
The post commission I know it's gone through a lot of changes, and they've added a lot of staffing and things like that. Are you seeing more involvement through the post commission now than years past, or?
They're looking at doing a lot of different programs now, and I know they're looking at some of the rules and regulations that they've got right now and studying that and doing a very hard look. So I think I'm seeing some very positive things coming out of post now.
Because you talked about you having to recruit now, and it ends up with what the state regulations are and how they're treating it, and it goes down to what you guys are able to do.
We've got 40 hours of training that we're required every year to keep our certification, and some of the things that they've had are the same thing year after year, and so we're taking a hard look at all that right now and see if we can't change it up and bring some new ideas and some new things too. To try to improve it.
They've been very helpful with their division as well, because after the first certification to being classified as a school resource officer, each SRO has to have an additional 16 hours over the 40 that's mandated by post. And we've got excellent instructors in the SRO division, and have submitted our lesson plans to them, and they have post has certified those. So just a way that we're trying to help as far as training goes, and dealing with issues that we have in this county, as well as saving some money. We come back early and do back to school training. We complete those 16 hours with our own deputies, and we don't have to hire outside people to come in and teach those classes for us, because we have such good instructors in the division and at the sheriff's department. So it helps out tremendously when the guys down there at post know what we're dealing with, and they help us a lot when it comes to stuff like that, because it's a TCA requirement.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Well, guys, thank you so much for being
so
a sheriff.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Captain Hendricks, I got a text from Dustin Cox. He's buying our lunch today. So,
Outstanding.
we get to pick where we want. So
I'm thinking a steakhouse in Nashville somewhere.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sheriff, you go too. He didn't bring you up, but I'll make sure you're included. Okay?
I'll get even with Dustin for that.
Everybody, have a great week, and we'll be back with you again next week. Are we here next week, or is it the week we're off?
No, we're here.
We're here one more week. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.